Okay, so Malaysian singer Kaka Azraff has done the unthinkable and invoked the name of Hitler. So basically, what happened was an American actor who was sympathetic to Israel basically expressed his sympathy, right? And Kaka Azraff was not very happy about this, right? And so she went on a very, very virulently anti-Semitic tirade, basically. And trigger warning for the next part of the video, but basically she went on about how Hitler didn't finish the job and he really should have done away with the Jews, you know. That's basically what she was saying. And needless to say, the pro-Israel group basically grabbed onto this with relish and basically used it to lambast all Malaysians as anti-Semitic Hitlerite bigots. Shocking. Absolutely, unbelievably shocking. Now, first of all, to all the Jewish people of the world, I would like to issue an apology on behalf of my unenlightened and bigoted compatriot for these unenlightened and bigoted remarks that were totally and completely uncalled for in the Palestinian liberation struggle. Now, while I will be the first person to denounce anyone who says that criticism of Israel or condemnation of Zionism is anti-Semitic, I will also denounce virulent anti-Semites at the same time, who are hijacking this cause, very much like how the Zionists, many of whom are not Jewish, are hijacking Judaism for their own nefarious political schemes, right? An anti-Semite is now basically jumping on the pro-Palestinian bandwagon. And I use the term very, very loosely, because they actually hate Jewish people more than they like Palestinians, right? And are basically actually sabotaging our movement from within by giving ammunition to the reactionaries in order to basically label our movement as a bigoted, hate-filled, anti-Semitic movement. Now, first of all, I have to say that this individual does not reflect upon the general mentality of most Malay Muslims, right? Who will make a distinction between Zionism and anti-Semitism and will not, in their wildest imagination, invoke the name of Hitler, the ultimate fascist of the 20th century, right? Who not only persecuted Jewish people, but other minorities as well, right? And was inherently a social Darwinist and a white supremacist, right? But time and again, you will find people in this country actually invoking the name of Hitler in order to express their distaste for the Zionist incarnation of Israel. I would be lying if I said that anti-Semitism did not exist completely in this country, right? There are small pockets of anti-Semites, like that university student in Sarawak, I believe, who did a Hitler salute during his graduation ceremony. And I have literally seen videos, and called them out as well. I've called them out. I've literally seen videos of kindergarten students in Malaysia being made to chant anti-Semitic slurs, such as Keba, Keba, Yahud, Yahud, right? This is not helping the occupied and besieged and brutalized Palestinians in any way. Why? Because it's turning off nice, normal people from joining this movement, right? It's turning nice, normal people off who don't know any better, right? These idiots who either invoke the name of Hitler or who bash Jewish people are basically sabotaging the movement and basically ruining its image and turning it basically into their platform to express their own personal dislike for Jewish people, which most of us do not share, yeah? At least the normal ones of us do not share. As to why some people really, really dislike Jewish people, I have no idea, right? I really don't understand why. I've always made a distinction between Zionism, that is to say political Judaism, and normal Judaism, right? So I don't know why people really detest Jewish people, but I can tell you that that this is not how most Malaysians think, right? Unfortunately, the reactionaries, the Western reactionaries especially, as well as the reactionaries in Israel, are going to point to these isolated incidents and they're going to say, look at how anti-Semitic Malaysia is, right? And it's not helping that these people are basically bashing Jewish people instead of actually trying to help the Palestinians by working with reasonable, normal, and compassionate Jewish people, right? Jewish people are not an evil race. They are not an evil race, right? It's just that, unfortunately, some people have been led to believe that they are because, I think I can also blame the Zionists because they constantly say that this is the real Judaism, right? So perhaps, some people who might not have been anti-Semitic in the past ended up becoming anti-Semitic because they kept getting told that Zionism is the real Judaism, right? That's one possibility for this. And this is a very dangerous thing when you have these Hitlerites who are taking advantage of the Palestinian liberation struggle in order to hijack the movement and bash the Jewish people of the world and basically normalize invoking the name of Hitler. This is very dangerous, not only because it injects a poisonous strain of fascism into the movement, which is supposed to be anti-fascist, right? But it also puts off normal, reasonable people from being sympathetic to the movement. When you frame the Palestinian liberation struggle as hatred for Jewish people or, an anti-Semitic movement that is pro-Hitler, what's going to happen is that normal, regular people who would otherwise be sympathetic to the movement will be put off from joining it, right? And in the next video I'm going to explain why many non-Malay Muslims in this country are put off from the Palestinian emancipation movement. They don't see it as an anti-imperialist movement because in this country, many right-wing reactionaries with no great love for the Palestinian people, but with a bee in their bonnet for the Jewish people, are now hijacking this movement in order to bash Jewish people, right? And that is why many people are being put off from this movement. And that is why it is an extremely dangerous thing to have these right-wing anti-Semitic reactionaries in our movement, right? Let's get one thing straight. I vehemently believe that the Palestinian people in Gaza or the West Bank or any part of Palestine have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They have the right to dignity, safety, security, and a civilized standard of living, right? And I am vehemently adamant about this point, right? I don't believe, for example, that Israel has the right to call itself a beacon of human rights or democracy. But having said that, I did make a promise to our Jewish friends that I would call out anti-Semitism if I saw it, right? In the same way that I would call out anti-Palestinianism if I saw it, right? Because let's get one thing straight. There is no room for fascists in the Palestinian liberation struggle, right? And I am also going to say that if you are a fascist, if you do not like Jewish people, right, feel free to unsubscribe on this channel because, this channel is supposed to be a safe space for people of all races and religions. If you're anti-Jewish, anti-Asian, anti-black, anti-white, anti-whatever, feel free to unsubscribe because I do not want fascists in my followers list, right? But having said that, I made a promise to the Jewish people of the world that, I would speak out against anti-Semitism if I saw it, right? And I need to make it very clear that this person's attitude, this Hitlerite attitude, does not reflect the mindset of the general Malaysian person, right? Who would be perfectly hospitable to a decent Jewish person who, who does not oppress anybody, right? You see, the fact of the matter is that we really, really need to disassociate ourselves from these bigots, from these fascists who are only joining in the Palestinian liberation movement, not due to any love for anti-imperialism, not due to any love for progress, but rather due to a hatred for Jewish people, right? And what's worse is that if we don't disassociate ourselves from these bad faith actors, what's going to happen is that the reactionaries, the pro-Israel reactionaries, will use these people and they will say, look, you see, this is what those pro-Palestine people really are. And these people, these Hitlerites, are giving ammunition to the reactionaries in order to smear us and attack our character. And that's why we cannot have these people in our movement, right? We cannot have Hitler supporters and we cannot have Nazis, New Age Nazis in our movement, right? So if you're using the word Yahudi or Jew in a denigrating way, if you say anything bad about the Jewish people of the world, feel free to unfollow this channel, because to me, you are nothing but human trash, right? If you support the slaughter and massacre of the Jewish people, if you basically endorse what Hitler did during the Holocaust, you are no different from any far right-wing Likudnik, right? You are the same as anyone in Benjamin Netanyahu's cabinet, right? So don't call yourself a freedom fighter. Don't call yourself anti-imperialist if let's say you are pushing right-wing anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, right? So, yeah, I hope this is clear. I hope that no anti-Semitism will be tolerated on this channel, and anyone who makes anti-Semitic comments will be blocked, okay? And I just want to say that our problem is not with the Jewish people of the world, right? And our quarrel is not with the Jewish people of the world, but with these pitiful imposters who call themselves Zionists, many of whom are not Jewish, by the way, people like Winston Churchill, who want the Jewish people as far away from them as possible. And that's why they encourage the movement to Palestine, right? But the thing is, I don't think that Jewish people don't have a right to live in Palestine. Of course not. They do. It's just that if you live there, you have to respect the culture of the region and you have to assimilate into Middle Eastern culture. That's all. I'm not saying that the whole place should be Judenrein. I'm not saying any part of Palestine ought to be Judenrein, yeah? And the fact of the matter is that by lumping in Jewish people with Zionists, this is the very same thing that anti-Semites do, right? So Western reactionaries and anti-Semites can agree on one thing, in fact, that Zionism is the real Judaism. But I consider Jewish people to be a lot better than that. I do not believe that Zionism is the real Judaism, because I do not see Jewish people as war criminals or violent, vicious gangsters who will kick you out of your home and basically displace you and move into your home. That's not how I see the Jewish people of the world. And I think that people like Ilan Pape, Katie Halper, Norman Finkelstein, and Gabor Mate, these are what we mean by true Jewish people who express true Jewish values. People who are loving, compassionate, empathetic, and who speak up for the downtrodden. Yeah. But no, we don't want any Hitlerites joining our movement, and we do not want anyone to put the blame on the Jewish people of the world for Zionism. Because most Jewish people are not Zionists. Okay? All right, thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and yeah, I'll be back with a longer video soon. Thank you. Have a great day.